But you eventually went on to be a dean twice. Talk about that. Which sounds like a better job for you than the one you were in right before there.
The students were wonderful.
Yeah.
And the program did get accredited. I was able to do that. And the faculty at Wayne helped. Mm-hmm. You know, we had real strange notions in those days. You know, you didn't give somebody your course outline or share material. You only gave them, you told them what books to read and what principles. It was a no-no. We had some funny notions in nursing because, you know, everybody has to develop his own, which doesn't make sense, you know, and which is why you have problems with standards. If people don't know what to do, give them something that will help them to do it better instead of telling them, you know,
good luck.
Go read Mildred Montag or some other stuff. At any rate, I got the job done. I just didn't like the environment. Right. So when I got to Oklahoma because I married, and my husband was assigned to Fort Sill, and I worked first for the State Health Department, which was nice. And then I went to Prairie View where I was fired.
Do you want to just leave that hanging, or do you want to share something there?
Then I went back to Oklahoma. And I was recruited by the University of Oklahoma College of Nursing. And the dean had been there just 2 years. And she decided, now you do know that Oklahoma was the only state that didn't...
The only totally red state in the United States. Do you know that?
Not one county.
Not one county fell off. Yeah, they were all red. We do know that.
But anyway, Eleanor came from California.
Yeah.
And she could not, I mean, she simply could not stomach the culture. She was very radical in terms of her ideas, had this cigarette with a holder hanging out the back. Well, the faculty, and I had just been recruited. This was my first year there, really. And the faculty, we were talking earlier today, the faculty, she was shrewd. She called the faculty together and she said, I'm resigning. We have made progress in the 2 years since I've been here. We have tripled the College of Nursing budget. The school has gained its autonomy and blah, blah, blah. And now you have to think about how you can sustain the momentum. What kind of leadership will help you to position yourself so that you can transition to a new dean? She reminded them that it took them 2 years to recruit her, and it would likely take 2 years to recruit a new person. And she said, so you have to look among you and decide who is the person who's best able to help you to hold your position. I was brand new. Has anybody seen Putney Swope, the movie, which they had on the market briefly and took off? Where it was about Madison Avenue ad agency with one black employee. And they decided that the executive died, had a heart attack and keeled over. And so they were going to vote on who was going to be the replacement, and everybody was going to be kind to the one black, and he ended up with all the votes. Well, it was kind of like that. At least that's what I say. I don't know. But anyway, they decided that I would be, they wanted to recommend to the provost, the medical executive is what he was called, for the Health Sciences Center, that I be the interim person. And they did it. I mean, and there was, everybody voted. So it wasn't nothing that he could do except appoint me, which irritated him no end, because he felt that he had been denied his prerogative. I mean, he didn't have a choice. So he got me. And I was, believe it or not, folks, probably the longest interim dean in history, because I was interim dean 2 years and 8 months before I was appointed. And I was appointed by the person who succeeded him. He was very angry at the faculty. I mean, instead of him saying, I'm not going to do it, he didn't have that kind of guts. He just accepted me. So it was a wonderful job. I had a great time, and I know that I was successful in the role. So it wasn't something that I planned.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
It really wasn't.
I would like to have been there for the meeting where all the faculty came to this visionary moment together. That would have been good.
They were sorry afterwards. They really were. I mean, God, it really was like Putney Swope. They were, oh my God, what have we done here? So this was Oklahoma.
I know. It's like, I picture it all the time. Yeah.
And I had to, I called in after about 2 or 3 months when these clowns started acting up. I called in my psych faculty and I said, hey, what is going on here and what are we going to do about this so we can get on with our work? And we talked. I figured these are supposed to be my experts on this faculty. And we decided that we would have a retreat, and that what was the source of the problem was racism. They had made this decision, and they weren't sure how to live with this. So I couldn't go and tell them that. This had to come from the group. So the psych faculty reasoned this. And the way we decided to approach it was to have a facilitated retreat, 2 days, away from the city, in the campus, of course. And we would have facilitators who were multiracial and multicultural. Well, we did it. The first time it was a disaster because the facilitators got co-opted. They were multiracial, but they had no experience in the dynamics of racism. And so they ended up being as much of the problem as we already had. And so we did it again, and we used people who were much more authoritative and skilled in this. They were trained through A.K. Rice, through the Tavistock. And that was a wonderful experience where we didn't come out, singing the Hallelujah chorus, but we knew what some of the issues were. We had an agenda for moving forward. We had people who would call the issue when they saw it surfacing. I didn't have to do it. So I was never placed in the role of having to confront somebody directly for their behavior because the faculty would call them on the behavior. So, because the reality is that in an organization, everybody wants the same thing, basically, and that is success and progress, and they have to figure out how they're going to get there.